What's up, everyone? I'm Corey P. We have Razzo,
Hey,
Rach, Britt from the block, and this is Breaking Bread. What's up, everyone?
Hey, what's up?
Y'all ready to break bread?
Oh, yeah.
Let's jump into it. Now, Roz, can you tell the people what we're talking about today?
Today is definitely Halloween, but as Kingdom believers, we don't celebrate it. So the subject is trick or treat or no.
Or no.
Or no.
All right, so when y'all was younger, did y'all go and did y'all celebrate Halloween?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, we
definitely.
didn't celebrate Halloween. We trick or treated though.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely did the whole like trick or treat thing and dressed up and got candy and did all that. But we didn't do the scary stuff because that's not my thing.
You didn't play with that.
I mean, as I started out as a child just trick or treating, but as I got older, I definitely went to haunted houses and stuff like that.
absolutely
So,
not.
I mean, I celebrated
Yeah.
scary movies and stuff. So definitely celebrated.
Yeah, we went,
Definitely
we went door to door knocking on doors,
Yeah.
like, give me some candy.
Give me some candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about the candy.
Then you knew the right houses to go to, right? Like
Exactly.
it was some had the mini size candy,
some
some
got
would
the
give the
king
big
size.
blocks.
The
The big
lady
one.
on the corner used to give us the big 100 grand. I'm telling you.
I'm going to that house.
Okay, so why we shouldn't entertain haunted houses and scary movies and witches and
I think over time, like we got to a place where, cause like what Britt said that I did, when I was in college, like I went to like ghost hunting and
No.
but
I
it
know you
wasn't
lying.
never. I
Did
never.
you ever
I,
find a ghost?
Yeah, it was. We had
Baby, you
some
can't pay me to
crazy
do
moments.
What
We had some
happened?
crazy moments.
No.
All right, so in Tuscaloosa it was around Halloween, and so this is crazy. When you say celebrate, I never thought about like I'm celebrating Halloween. It
You're
was just like
observing
something
it.
to do. Yeah, it was just something to do. And so we Googled 100 places in Tuscaloosa.
Why?
It was
bored.
bored.
I just don't
We was
understand
just
why people are like,
you in college?
I'm bored. I
We
want to
like,
go
okay.
scare myself out
And
of
so,
my pants.
so one place we actually, it was on our campus. Stillman was one of the places. It was like the top 10, and then the second was like an old mental hospital. And so we was like, okay, we already went and did like we already at Stillman, so we went to the mental hospital. They had it boarded up and locked, and so we driving, and they was like, hey, we finna they had it locked so you couldn't get in. So the car, we stopped right there, and they was like, we about to go walk. We're gonna go to the building. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't getting out this car, man. Like, cause first of all, I ain't playing with this, right? So I'm in the car. My friends, they go and try to look in the building, and man, I just see them take off running. And I jumped in the doggone.
You didn't ask no
I jumped in the driver's seat. I'm starting hitting reverse. Y'all better catch up. Yeah, then I stopped and they jumped in. I was like, man, what happened? They was like, man, we saw some people, they was floating through there. I'm
Man.
like, what?
Okay, so that's the question now that people want to know: is that stuff real? Like
It is
some people
It
don't
is
believe
so
in
real,
it.
and that's why we don't need to mess with it.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you, I went to go see, those movies, Paranormal Activity, the whole
Yeah,
series, right?
I watched
So
those.
it was a thing in college where it was, I used to play volleyball. So all the volleyball girls and all the basketball guys, we all went together to go watch them, right?
Right.
And we were taking pictures and stuff in the theater, well, outside the theater. Again, this is early college, so
Yeah.
freshman, lame. So like taking pictures and
Yeah.
stuff.
I wasn't like that,
Man,
but continue.
anyway.
Anyways, so we're taking pictures and stuff outside the theater, all cute and stuff. And then when we get in the theater, we're taking pictures as well, right?
Oh,
So later, this is the theater. We took pictures inside of the theater for this horror movie.
Okay.
So like later, we looking at all the pictures and
absolutely
stuff.
not.
And outside, the pictures are normal. But when we got in the theater, there's all those little orbs
Absolutely
I know
not.
you lying.
all over. And I was like, dang, they're all over in the theater. In the theater.
No, man.
I mean,
We need to take a poll. People who watch it, do y'all believe that this stuff is real, or do y'all believe?
yeah.
so is what though? What are we?
Yeah,
what are we
what I'm
asking? Is what
saying-
spirits real? or-
Definitely, spirits real, but like people don't believe that going to haunted houses and
Like, that
doing
doesn't
the
do
ghosts,
anything.
they're playing the games that we were talking about, like the you remember
Yeah.
calling Bloody Mary, and
Yeah.
people don't believe that's real, so that's why they do it. But I want to know for the believers.
I think people have become so desensitized to
Right.
it because it's
Yeah.
in movies, it's in
Yeah.
children's movies. It's like one of those like they'll go to a sleepover and they're like, "Oh, do you want to play with the Ouija board?"
Man,
Like
I'm
that's
out.
a sleepover thing. Like
Yeah.
absolutely
Tarot
not.
cards,
Yeah.
I'm out.
So
Yeah.
the
Completely.
like it's normalized, and then people are like, oh yeah, why not? I mean,
But it's evil. Why
yeah.
who want to play with evil?
But it became a place like almost like a board game.
Yeah.
Like really,
Right.
like
It is a board game, but Ouija boards are in the board game.
Like let's do this. Yeah,
Man.
let's just but
Isn't that crazy?
That is so
Next
crazy.
to Uno.
wow,
absolutely not.
Okay, so let me ask another question. This is probably gonna offend some people, but okay. So since we talk about ghosts and haunted houses stuff, people burn sage.
Yeah.
Is that inviting spirits in as well?
Man, I think you got to definitely be mindful what you're doing. 1 Corinthians 10 and 21.
Come on with the
21st
scripture
verse.
reference. That's cool.
It says, you cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of the demons. You cannot partake of the table of the Lord and the table of
You
the
better
demons.
read that.
Do you hear me? What table? What cup you drinking from?
And so
Definitely,
I
yeah.
think that's the thing. I think we got to
Definitely
get to that place where we always trying to mix things.
Quit
Right.
dabbing in this other stuff. I'm so
Like-
upset
Like, is
right
the
now.
blood
Like,
of Jesus not enough for you?
Yeah,
on.
like why put yourself in that position? It's no, I don't have no, I'm doing it for this reason. Come on, man. You
What
can pray.
sage gonna do? Put it in
yeah.
your dressing.
Spirits are
Yeah.
going to be like, okay,
Air
this stinks,
freshener,
but
man.
Yeah,
Go get
I ain't
some-
going nowhere.
Like that,
Come on.
like if they were, if they were in your, first of all, why are they in your house to begin with? First of all, but like, why did you feel like sage was the way to do it and not anything that is biblical? You
Yeah.
you didn't
Did
even.
Jesus burn sage?
No,
Yeah.
right.
So I think it's the reason why you're doing it, though. Honestly,
Okay.
you know what I'm
But
saying?
people saying that it's for like peace
and all,
yeah.
for whatever. Like when you start getting, I just think it's challenging when you start mixing things.
Yeah.
It's a line. Like you got to be mindful.
Yeah.
There's a
of
difference
that.
between burning some essential oils,
Yeah,
diffusing
yeah.
some essential oils
Yeah.
for
Man.
peace, or
Because you like
the
the high
aromas,
smell. Yeah.
versus the sage and the crystals and
Yeah.
wear this rock. I mean, they're
Yeah, I don't
really
understand.
Oh, I
like,
got one more. Go
what the
ahead.
difference, like the rocks, the crystals, and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff that confuses me because I'm like,
It's a rock.
I don't get
Yeah,
it. Like it's a
jade
rock.
rollers. I have a jade roller set. It's just the rock that you roll in your face, but one is for like calming and one's for different stuff. I'm like, this is the same rock. It feels the same.
Man, I'm weak.
What you
But
know?
people
It's
really
just
do
different color.
believe that there's like healing elements in
a rock.
In a rock.
Man,
There's in the rock.
Oh, come on now. Come on.
But really, like when you start to put your trust in things like that, I think that you begin to separate yourself from the actual characteristics of God and like you'll run to that first because you can feel
You're
it, you can
worshiping
touch
other
it, you
gods.
can
Oh, that's so
like you
serious.
feel secure in burning the sage, but you don't feel secure in God. Like I feel like you just start to slowly but surely put more trust into worldly and more tangible things than you do Him, just by starting out simple like that.
Yeah.
you said you had one more thing. What were you talking about?
People who be praying to people that passed away in their life, their ancestors and their grandmama, talking about they looking over me, or they'll pray and talk to that person, or they go to the gravesite and be like, well, I was just feeling down today, so let me just go talk to grandma. Put it in reverse.
Like, Grandma, I listening,
I'm
baby.
just
I think
But,
there's a time to mourn, but when people start grieving, they let spirits. Pastor talks about it. That's grieving is not biblical.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you start grieving and getting into depression, and when you're in that state, I recently lost my brother, and so mentally you can just be out the loop.
Yeah.
And when you allow yourself to get in a idle state,
Yeah.
the enemy will come and try to talk. He's sneaky,
Yeah.
and he's a liar, and so he's going to come and talk to you and make you believe that you can talk to your grandma. Or, that ain't grandma talking back to you.
Yeah.
Because it's just not.
Right.
And so I think, when it comes to like death of family members and stuff, there's a time to mourn. But there's a healthy way to do it.
Yeah.
And when you get to seeing grandma at the edge of the bed, or
Absolutely
that's a problem.
not.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a problem.
I think it's a lack of knowledge as well.
Right.
Over time, and just generations, because they didn't have the information that we have, or they couldn't even read from a biblical perspective to understand the Bible, to understand all this. They only, whatever they heard, they just went with
Right.
it, and I think it been passed on over generations and generations. Like, hey, you know, I miss grandma. Let me talk to her. Let me do. And I think that's the problem, you know. And we can't be afraid to tackle those conversations.
Right.
Like, okay, at a certain point, it's not knocking your grandmother.
At
It's
all.
just, I mean,
Wonderful
it's
woman.
nothing. Yeah, but it's okay. Let's speak truth though,
Yeah.
Right.
and let's
It's like,
teach it the right way.
What are you looking to get out of that conversation?
Yeah.
Peace, comfort.
You just don't want to let it go all the way?
Yeah.
Or...
So even when Jesus left the earth, he had to have a conversation with his disciples. And he said he was leaving his peace with them.
That's
Not
good.
the world's peace,
Yeah.
but his. And so I think it's like when you're going into that, if you're burning sage, if you're touching the rocks, I don't know how to do it, but you know, what are you ultimately looking for in that?
There's a void.
What is your
Trying to fill.
outcome for that?
Yeah.
Because you know, there's
Surely
definitely
you
an
don't think
outcome.
this smoke sage, this sage
I
smoke
feel
But I
like
think
there's a
that-
disconnect.
giving you
Yeah, it
There's
is.
a disconnect. So, you know, like you were saying before, if you're putting all these, you're making these things your God.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need peace, okay, you're going to this rock.
Yeah.
You need protection, you're going to the sage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're making things that are not these objects. You're making them your God, but that's not your God.
Yeah.
So there's a disconnect there.
Yeah.
There's your relationship. If I was talking to somebody and they really believed, there's an error in that relationship with them in Christ.
Yeah.
Like something's off.
Yeah, they
there.
looking for
Yeah.
something.
They're-
I
they're
mean, but they
trying to fill
looking
a
for
void.
what they looking for Christ, but they
Right.
going the
Wrong
way.
the wrong path.
Right.
You know, that's the thing with going to psychics or going to
Oh,
read
yeah,
your
I
Like
didn't even
the
talk about that.
palm
palm readers
Readers,
and horoscope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even as a kid, I used to read it, and it was interesting. Like you'll go read whatever you.
They
You
all
like,
apply
that
to
is me.
everybody.
I
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
like you do, but it's like...
They apply to everybody though. You could read any of them, and it's like, oh, you're fit. You know, you love life and love to enjoy. It's like,
You be like,
yeah,
I
everybody.
sure do.
But
Yeah.
you're like, oh my goodness, yeah. It's like you're gonna have the best day ever one day this month. Well, duh. Like, you know, or at least one out of the 30 to 31 days is gonna be good. So it's like, you know, it's.
And I think
People
you
like
know
a
what
lot.
the crazy thing is that people believe in psychics, but they won't believe in a prophet.
I was just about to say that, Pastor Carl. Like, and do they even be on? Like, I know a lot of people going to a tarot readers.
Dang,
What?
I just thought about
cards.
something. Their show was a psychic in Space Jam, wasn't it? I know that's so
Man,
random.
What?
Well,
I know that's so
What?
random.
Oh, that
Remember when
was.
they didn't know how to get their
Yeah.
power back, so they went to the psychic?
psychic.
Oh,
Oh,
they
oh,
sure
legit.
Like,
did.
they really do. They've been desensitized.
Folks
to that
really
from
be
way
going
back.
to these folks
Yeah.
like, what? I don't
sorry,
get
it
that.
just
So
came
do
to
you
my
think
mind.
they? I mean, I don't know. They do have powers.
Oh yeah,
right?
well, the
Or,
Bible
like-
tells us about people are false prophets. When they say false prophets, it's not saying that they don't have the ability. They just doing it for evil. Now,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Is the enemy came to destroy everything that try to in a way. So he's gonna still present it. You know what I'm saying? In a way, but he want to try to glorify Satan, in doing it. He don't want to glorify God in doing it. And so I do believe that's why some of them believe it, because they can tell you
Man,
your
it's crazy.
past, and they
Yeah.
can tell these things because they have the gifting on them,
Right.
but they're using it in the wrong way.
But does that welcome other things in your life? You go to.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely because you're doing evil acts.
Man, that's
So
crazy.
again, it go back to that scripture. You're inviting demons in. You drinking from the Lord's cup, then you try to drink from the cup of the demons, and
Ooh,
now
don't
you
drink from the cup.
Come on
You know
now.
what's crazy though? People say, I bet you if somebody had being terrorized by demons, they say they didn't choose that, right? Okay, so let's use this as an example. If I pick up the remote and I put on BET, right? I made that choice by choosing
Yeah.
the remote, right? So whatever's coming through, I chose that channel.
Yeah.
When you pick up a Ouija board or
Yeah.
rocks or whatever, that's
Right.
a
You're
choice.
choosing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever comes after that, whatever's
That consequence,
that's what you
that-
chose. That's a choice.
You may have not made that choice in knowledge,
Knowing what was coming.
that was coming, but you
Open
sometime
the
in your
door.
life opened that door
Yeah.
and allowed whatever it was to come through, and you never revisited that, and you continued to live your life, or you continued to do whatever you were doing to make that happen, and then you're like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Right.
The enemy is gonna you have to allow him in, or somebody has to allow him in
Right,
that place. It's an interesting movie. I can't remember the name, and I'm the oldest one here, so y'all might
You
not
are.
remember, but y'all like movies. But it was a movie back in the day about these kids, right? And they was and one of them was dating. His mother was dating like a vampire.
It was a Disney movie?
I can't remember.
My Mom's Dating a Vampire.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it was called.
But anyway,
I think that, it was a Disney movie.
the son knew, so he put all these different crosses and different things around, right? And so when he came to the door to come in the house, he asked the son. He said, "Can I come in?"
Come on, Pastor Corey with the Disney movie.
And then he entered, right?
Somebody knew something.
And so we got to get to the place where what are you allowing in?
Yeah.
Because the enemy got in some type of way, and it was a choice. It was a decision, and and that's what we got to be mindful when you put
preach
yourself.
this movie.
It does.
when you put yourself
Summer
in
nights.
those positions.
Yeah, right.
Hey, that's what happens. So we got to be mindful what we're allowing in.
And it starts small.
Yeah,
It
that's
always
it.
starts
It
small.
always starts
Yeah.
small. It's not, you don't just wake up one day and you're like, I think I'm gonna go get my
gonna
palm
entertain
read.
demons.
Like, I'm gonna go hang out with the demons. You
Yeah.
know, like it does start with that one thing. You're like, I kind of want to see what my future may be. Or, and you're walking through the streets of New Orleans or something. You're like, They're like, hey, come on, no, it's great.
Nah,
pull
man.
you in.
But
like,
I'm gonna tell you another, and it just hit me. And we probably never thought about it. Music.
Oh yeah,
Music is a
absolutely.
major component as well, because we're singing or rapping lyrics, and we just repeating it. We're not knowing what the person, you know what I mean?
Right.
I always give the example, Jesus, he had a song, one of my favorite artists went back in the day. And one of the lyrics said, I know I'm going to hell, right? And everybody in the
Biggie?
club.
He said Jeezy.
Jesus.
Oh, Jeezy. Oh,
But
And
Biggie said it too.
so you got to think about who said that?
Biggie.
Oh, wow. And so you got to think about the mindset, and these people are saying that, and you're inviting that. So, that's good. I ain't even never look at it.
Come on
if
now.
you saying that you going to hell, what's in hell?
to demons.
Nothing.
So now what you just invited in your life?
Come on.
If you just made that statement and declared it over yourself.
Right.
So we got to get to that place where we understand, like, okay, we got to be mindful because the enemy is trying to find a way to get in. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of us, especially down south, we grew up in the church some type of way. We heard about Jesus.
Yeah.
We experienced it. So he definitely got to find a way to come in with us, because you can't just go, hey man, do you want to serve the devil? You know what I mean?
Right. If you don't say no, right.
It doesn't come like that. Though.
Yeah,
It's
it's not.
always presented in a way that you
That's
would
it.
desire it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's-
That's it.
And it be like you was going back to that song, but I was gonna give an updated song.
Okay.
Like when most get like Juice
Updated.
WRLD, R.I.P.
Yeah.
The Lucid Dream song. It was so
Yeah.
catchy, and
It
it made you want to
was.
sing it. But you have to. It was talking about him being psychotic. Like
Yeah.
those, he hear those lucid dreams of sin where he can't speak or think, like those
Yeah.
words. And the song was so catchy. Literally, like I had to catch myself. Like, what am I saying? Because teens everywhere like
That's
shouting this song out, and this man was literally talking about how dark he was
Yeah.
and how he was having dreams of crazy
Yeah.
stuff, and literally we got a whole stadium people singing. It's like,
And
yeah,
they're
that's crazy.
Yeah.
because their hands were probably lifted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
They
the
were-
song
they were
was
shouting.
banging, but it's just
Yeah.
like, this man is
So
That-
who are you worshiping though?
That's it.
It's like, who are you worshiping and what are you worshiping?
And so that's why when people hear, like, if they ask me, man, why you don't celebrate Halloween, and I let them know, and they start thinking, oh man, you just churchy. But they don't understand.
serious,
It's
man.
like
It's
it's
in.
so many. Like the enemy is trying to find ways to get in. Like
Yeah.
really, and you just, oh man, these kids just getting candy. Man, it's so
No.
much bigger than that.
Right.
But you know what's crazy? What you just said?
What?
These kids
Yeah.
Yeah.
are getting candy.
Yeah.
And you remember we said last podcast episode
About the youth.
about how
Yeah.
they try to get the kids.
That's
Man.
it.
Because like we said, it starts small, and if you can plant that seed at a young age, and they're going out and doing all these
Trying to do it
things
forever,
and watching
forever.
the
Those
movies.
adults that's crazy about Halloween started at kids.
As
And their kids probably don't even care. They want the kids to go
Right.
trick or treating.
What was the Pied
because they have
Piper?
candy.
Where
Pied
you-
Piper. Oh, I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, he used to play, and the kids follow. You know what I mean? I did. Like I know now but honestly, that's what it is. Like
Yeah.
the world, they going after our kids
Yeah.
hard
Right.
because they understand the purpose. If I
Right.
get them now, man, I got.
I can take them down the path that I
something
wanna
else
do.
for these
But
kids.
the adults have a huge part to play in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, if you are okay with your kids going trick or treating,
Yeah.
and it's no big deal. You're planting seeds and you're saying it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
You can create an environment that doesn't. I'm not always a proponent for making kids feel left out. Some things we're just not going to do, and that's it is what it is. But if you want to do as a family, if you want to, have a fun night, people come over, have a costume party, and have friends there, and call it not Halloween,
Right,
but
do that, but
do
don't-
something fun with the kids and have them paint pumpkins or something. I don't know, but
We
like,
having a costume Christmas in my house.
how funny.
So yeah, they can still dress up. They can still do that.
And I think that's the thing. I think sometimes as believers, we get to a place like, no, you can't do nothing. You can't
Replace it.
It's a costume,
Right.
man.
If they were wearing it any other day of the week, you'd be like, oh, what a cute little princess.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you know, you can't demonize that act. It's just what
It's the day
It's
what
the
the world
day,
celebrate.
right.
We're not doing Halloween.
You know,
Yeah.
I seen this video on YouTube. This man, he was actually a warlock, right? For real, like a real life one. And he ended up, I forgot his story, but he ended up getting saved. And so then he started telling everything about his past life, right? So he was talking about how he worshiped the devil. I mean, for real, worshiped the devil. And he did seances and all type of weird witchcraft type stuff. And he had all these powers because, I mean, you serving the enemy, you're going to get, you know. But he said that when he got married, he made sure he got married on Halloween.
Oh my
I mean, this
goodness.
is his wife was a witch and he's a warlock, and they had to be married on Halloween. Doesn't that say something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that says something. If
Yeah.
that's the day that they need to get married, like on that day.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's something about that day.
Yeah.
Man,
It's
that's-
deep.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Straight
deeper
on
than
that.
candy. I tell
It
you that.
is.
Yeah.
So yeah. I hope y'all at home
Trick or
watching this
treat.
podcast.
Oh no.
Or not.
But understand, and this is the thing, guys, and I want you to understand as believers, we definitely never judging, but we always want to share. We want
Yeah.
to make sure that you understand. And I never look down. I never, people do it, of course, in your workplace or wherever you at. They might be doing it. You don't have to go and bring a Bible and sit the Bible on their desk and all that type of stuff. Live your life, man. Show them that as believers, you can have a good time, and they'll see it. They're going to want to know more about it. And I
Right.
think that's the thing. I think how we come at people about different stuff,
Yeah,
right.
it pushed them away and be like, man, I don't want that.
Yeah.
So
Right.
as believers, we got to learn how to share the word the right way.
Right.
Amen.
Through our actions and our, but there's other stuff to do. We
Right. I
talking
mean,
about
there's
that.
there are churches that have like trunk or treats and stuff like that, and I think their aim there is to create that safe environment where the children can have a good time and they know that there's nothing weird mixed in, and they're just
Yeah.
coming to get candy and then they're going home. They have games for the family and stuff like that. But you don't have to do anything. I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, for us, during that time, we celebrate fall. Pumpkin,
Yeah,
we
that's
do the
what I'm
pumpkin
saying.
patch.
Yeah, pumpkin
and-
patch is so fun.
yeah. So we go do the hay
Some
rides.
apple cider.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Hey,
I mean, I
Apple
like
cider.
apple
Well,
cider.
ultimately,
You like
today
apple
is
cider?
Saturday, so just enjoy today. Just chill, enjoy your
There's
family.
there's gonna be a football game, so
Yeah.
that's all
Oh,
I care
yes.
about.
War Eagle, guys.
Okay, and this
Why
has been
you
a
look-
great session.
Hey, you brought it up. You said
I didn't bring it
football, and so I just had to go into, letting people know.
It's okay.
But you know something? I know this have nothing.
No. We
I know. I'm no seriously. This is a good
You
point.
make good decisions and then you make bad ones.
This is a
and
bad
that
one.
was a bad decision.
That was a bad decision.
Yeah.
Go ahead, close us out.
Hey, well, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I truly did. If you have any questions, reach out. Check our social media, subscribe to all the different things that we're doing, and we will see you next episode. Have a great day.